August 9th, 1945. The Nagasaki nuclear explosion. August 6th, 1945. The Hiroshima nuclear explosion. Since these World War II attacks, nuclear weapons have become even more powerful. The Hiroshima bomb produced an explosion of 15 kilotons. 1 kiloton equals the explosive power of 1,000 tons of TNT. If it was detonated in New York City's Times Square, this is what it would look like. The radius of the affected area would be almost a mile long. This yellow circle indicates the radius of the explosion's fireball. Within the red circle, fatalities are near 100%, and all concrete structures are damaged or demolished. Within the gray circle, most residential structures are destroyed, and there are massive injuries and fatalities. The orange circle indicates the area in which third-degree radiation burns occur. But the sheer destructive power of that explosion pales in comparison to the largest thermonuclear weapon currently in the United States arsenal, the B-83. Created in the late 1970s, the B-83 can produce an explosion of up to 1,200 kilotons, which is 80 times the Hiroshima explosion. That's the explosive power of 1.2 million tons of TNT. If dropped on New York City, the radius of the affected area would be over 7 miles. Then, there's the 1954 Operation Castle Bravo, the largest nuclear bomb ever tested by the United States. It produced a 15,000 kiloton explosion, which is over 1,000 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. If detonated in New York City, the radius of the affected area would be over 21 miles. But there's even one more powerful than that. On October 30th, 1961, the Soviet Union tested the Tsar Bomba. It is the most powerful weapon ever detonated. It produced a 50,000 kiloton explosion. That's 3,300 times more powerful than the Hiroshima bomb. The mushroom cloud was so tall that it dwarfed anything on Earth. If dropped on New York City, the radius of the affected area would be over 31 miles. The Tsar Bomba was created over 5 decades ago. Today, there are an estimated 14,900 nuclear weapons in the world. If not for the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty of 1963, we might have even more powerful bombs today.
Hello. Hi. My name is Erik Wolves. And this is my life as a zombie. I'd played a zombie for about maybe 3 to 4 years over on the back lot of Universal Studios. I was also featured in a few television shows, a couple movies, photo shoots, and random commercializing on the internet. I had an agent, for some apparent reason, was always able to find me a gig in town in Hollywood. Only thing is, I'd ended up being a zombie on almost every gig I was set up with for about maybe 2.5 to 3 years. So you could say, or would, I was stereotyped. I never really found much work outside of being a zombie. I didn't really care much for being a zombie, but I did enjoy being in the makeup. It was a lot of fun. Never really got to say much past "arr" or "grrr" or any random, zombie growl sound. So that was about the extent of my vocabulary as a zombie. I was given my own trailer where I'd sort of just sit and stare at myself and admire myself for the zombie that I'd betrayed. I'd step off the trailer and onto the lot there, and the tourist cars would go by, and they'd make a big deal, and me being in my zombie state of appearance, I'd give in and randomly scare a few children, shake a couple of hands, and have my picture taken, get to throw a growl, raw, or whatever sound randomly would come out. And this here is I made the cover, and then they also ripped the cover that I'd appeared on and sort of switched it, flipped it around, and kind of made me look a little bit more less than who I am. And I found it walking past this window here one morning on Hollywood Boulevard. I was on the movie cover art. This is from a internet commercial that I had appeared in for some app invention. Had a cast of monsters, and I again was called in to play the zombie. Ripped right in through the back of a man to tear out his heart and eat it. Yeah, I tore a man's heart from the back of him and stuck it in my mouth and went raw. And well, this was the makeup. Apocalyptic zombie. Burnt, toasted human flesh. Living dead. Thank you for watching.
I'm sure you do it on YouTube.